So, hello. I hope that we are audible. Thank you for joining, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, GP.
Yeah. Thank you, Gejo. Good evening, everyone.
I can already see a lot of comments about their specific scores and
Mm-hmm.
what calls to expect. So, I think probably a good thing to start is GP trying to say what is your objective, what is that we want to cover, why this particular
Mm-hmm.
session, and so that the everyone would know what, and then probably what you can expect out of this session.
Yeah, sure, sure. So this is a session, and we are trying to address the issue of what next. Now, the thing to understand is that some of you have got score which appears to be in line with what you want, and are likely to get calls from institutes which you're interested in. And some of you may not have got calls or got a good score, and are looking at the other options also. So the idea of this session is to try and address all four kind of candidates, and we'll shortly explain what is our district, how have we distributed into four categories. But idea is to take care of each of you and try to give you guidelines which will help you take a decision for the future. That's essentially the purpose of the session.
Yeah, and towards the end, if there are a lot of specific questions, we'll address that because I'm sure that all of you are interested in your problem, your specific problem, and some of you are. I don't know how many of you are sort of worried at the percentile. I may miss out of college. I may get. I'm not too sure. Is there anyone like that?
Mm,
So we have. I'm sure that a lot of you have. I've got a 99.55 percentile, 98 percentile. Just don't know whether I'm going to get. I've got
mm,
this at cats. I've got that at cats. So anyways, let me just get
mm,
this
mm,
thing started. The first thing first, GP.
mm.
Lot of them are talking about percentile, not knowing what percentile is. I think
Right.
I would
Mm,
advise all of you to first go to. Uh, so let me just open. Yeah, this one. Okay, careerlauncher.com/cat. Upload your
mm,
response HTML file and get a predicted percentile.
mm,
And we are also working on. The team is working on coming out with the section wise percentile as well. Please note that this percentile is not pre-decided. We are calculating based on the data with sort of running algorithm to do it. And this is the first thing that I will encourage people to do. Anything more to talk about our predicted percentile, GP? Is that
Jiju, just to add to what you said, I think what I want students to understand is that we have been in this business of predicting percentiles before people even thought that it could be predicted. So it's been over 10 years that we have been doing this, and our percentile predictions are as accurate as they can be. Especially if you're above 90 percentile, it is a point 0.1, point 0.2, worst case point 0.5 kind of a gap. And if great, you have scrolled down. So if you look at the last year's data, these are the actual percentiles and the predicted percentile, and in fact, the gap is negligible. So many times students come back and tell me XYZ website so much they said this much, this much, this much. They go all over the place. My suggestion to all these students is don't worry about anything else. Just go to the Career Launcher website. This is the percentile predictor which has stood the test of time. Every year we are the closest. So get your percentile from here. And if you're looking at any advice from my side on what you should go further, I will definitely want to have a few things from you. One, your predicted percentile from the Career Launcher website, not from any other website. I don't rely on them at all because I've frequently found them to be incorrect and off by a margin. Second, your background, academic background. Third, your marks in 10th, 12th graduation. And finally, the category you belong to. And yes, how did I forget work experience? So if anyone wants any kind of advice from one of us, I think this is the information which needs to be shared by each one of you. Then we'll be able to give you some kind of a guidance at a personal level. Okay, but please focus on the percentile here. That is the most important component for you at this point of time. And as Gijo said, sectional percentile will also be available in a couple of days.
so what we essentially do is to run a machine learning sort of program. So first we'll have to figure out the scale score, which is very important. So looking at a logic to create a scale score, looking at level of difficulty, looking at the past papers, and come out with it. The team is has been probably working now 2 days now on getting the sectional percentile up. What we want to do, of course, is not worry about speed, but ensure that to get it as accurate as we can. And obviously, these are all based on data. So there'll be that plus error there, but I think that for the higher percentile, the errors have been not that much. So that is the first thing. Okay. So anyone asking any question in terms of I've got this particular score, what is the percentile that I'll get? I think our first advice is to actually do this. Now, a lot of you have already done it, and therefore let me get back and talk about the next one. So let me just explain uh, this the data
So,
that this year.
yeah,
Yeah,
Jijo,
sorry,
before you start, those of you
sorry.
will be going into an MBA institute. This 2 by 2 matrix, a very standard feature you will learn very fast.
Yeah,
Everything can be broken into 2 by 2, 3 by 3 matrices, and this is a prime example of MBA at work.
yeah. So this is an MBA guy making a presentation, right? So so there are two things that I've looked at. One is I will likely get the desired percentile. The reason why I use likely, because we are looking at predicted percentile. So I would want to, for example, for a particular school, I know that 99.8 or 99.5 percentile for IIM Calcutta is what is usually needed. So I'm going to get that percentile, likely desired percentile. So either it will be a no or it will be a yes. And the second thing is, I don't mind waiting for another attempts. I don't mind. This is so. Next year, I'm okay taking the test. If things doesn't go well this year, I can actually wait and take it another year. So that is a yes. But some of you would say no. I can't do it. This is sort of painful. I've already done it for 2 years. There'll be no category as well, which then brings this four type of students here. Number one is A category. I'm just putting it name. There's no grading here, ladies and gentlemen. Just a letter of the alphabet that I use. This is a category wherein I'm going to get the predicted desired percentile, and I don't mind waiting for another attempt, which will be so it's okay. It doesn't matter. Okay, so it's saying that I'm getting the desired percentile. Even B, I'm getting the desired percentile, but I don't want to wait. Which means that if I'm in category B, which means whatever is get a call that I have to get, which means for somehow I have to ensure that I have to convert it and get, for example, let's say you've got 5 calls, whichever is call that you're getting and converting, you'll probably join it. For these category, maybe you'll get 5 calls, you did not convert the best one, maybe you'll think about waiting. So those are the category of students. Then you have this category who has said that I did not get my desired percentile, but I'm okay taking one more shot at cat. That is number C, category C. Or the other one is that I did not get a desired percentile. I don't, but I cannot take one more attempt because this is it. I'm not going to do it. What option do I have? So what I want is, I hope that you understood ABCD as where you are. I just want you to put on comment box as to what you are ABCD. Let me actually check how many are A, how many B's, how many C's, how many D's. Yeah, GP.
Can we run a poll, Jijo?
So the poll doesn't work. So I can actually look
Okay,
at. I'll
okay,
get a rough
that's
idea
okay.
of
Mhm.
how many would be there. Okay, so I can see.
No.
Uh, so I can see D's, I can see B's, I can see C's. So nobody, a few A's, very few A and very few C's. Okay.
Mhm, mhm,
Okay. So I got A, B, D's. We've got all sort of
mhm,
categories in this room. Category A and B. So Meet is like, okay, I've got my percentile, and so I think the first thing first, for what I want to first do is talk about if you are in each of this category, what is
mhm,
that you actually need to do, what is your advice, and especially we'll really want to talk to all these people who are here. This is it,
mhm,
and especially those of you are here is, and we would want to look at what could be the option that you have here as well. And let me start with the first categories of people who are saying yes to it. And
mhm,
GP,
mhm.
what should what is a primary thing here? Okay, I think it's very obvious.
See, the category is I am likely to get my desired percentile score, and but if required, I don't mind waiting because end of the day, you have a target institute, and it is possible your profile may or may not be able to sustain the kind of institute you are looking for. Then the rule is simple for you. You have to say, okay, let me, in any case, if I'm going to get my desired percentile, I'll get a few calls. Let me convert those calls. One might say, why should I worry about converting those calls? The reason is next year when you go for the interviews, this interview experience is going to be very, very valuable. Many times people underestimate or students underestimate the value of an actual interview experience. These interviews are very, very different from what you have gone through, whether in terms of your placement or in any other scenario you have gone through interviews. This is going to be a completely different ball game, and which is why actual interview experience will be very, very helpful next year. Uh, okay, so if you don't, okay, yeah. So that's essentially for them. The task is to convert, and then obviously look at preparing as you go along.
And what about those people who say that, okay, this is probably last year I did this. I took
Mhm,
the cat once again. I have
mhm,
got a
mhm.
call. Now I can't wait anymore. I have to make it this time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the task becomes very, very clear. No ambiguity. Convert. While for the others, category A, you can be relaxed. Category B cannot be relaxed. However, category B, I don't want them to be desperate.
Hmm.
When you're desperate to get something, I've always maintained you do all kind of stupid incorrect things and you will make a mistake. Okay, you will try to create a persona of yourself which is incorrect, which is not sustainable, and in the interview you'll get rejected then. So if you are category B, please start preparing seriously, whether it is PDP personalized, PDP planned, some other way of preparation. Please start immediately whatever you want to do. Don't delay that process, because and don't wait for the interview calls to come in. The reason is very simple. Many of you are going to get interview calls, which will be maybe within 2 to 4 weeks of your call letter. You get an interview letter or email confirming, and suddenly you'll find 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks down the line, you have an interview. And that time is not going to be sufficient, because you'll have other things also to worry about. Which is why, if you think you cannot wait for another year, you have to get an admission this year, which is category B and D. Category B and D, if you have to get an admission this year, please start preparing irrespective of what your percentile is. You may not get the desired institute, you may have to settle for suboptimal or the next level institute. But remember, there are about 100 odd good institutes in India which will give you decent career. So if you cannot wait, please start preparing. Very, very important to understand, this is a very different process. CAT was an easy process as far as the comparison with interview is concerned. Because end of the day, all of us are used to studying maths, English. All of us have been doing these kind of papers since our childhood. When I say these kind of paper, not MCQs but papers. So there was a familiarity with the subject. While the kind of paper was different, there was familiarity. You knew what to do. When it comes to the interview process, this is something which is absolutely new for most of us, and this is where you need to put in more effort. And secondly, I will again say this is very, very different from the job interviews or the placement interviews some of you might have faced. So this is a completely different ball game, and the earlier you start preparing, the better off you would be.
Yeah. So GB to add, I think around I think if I look at last few years, around Jan first week is when the official results is going to be declared first week,
That's right.
and
That's
then
right.
the days the results is declared immediately after 2 3 days. ABC starts giving their calls out.
That's
Okay.
right. Within a week, you'll get most of the top institute
Institute.
interview calls.
And then L will come, and then S takes a little time, and then the other
Mhm,
school that accept the CAT score, obviously the CAT has to give the score to them, and then the
mhm.
call comes out. And also
Right.
the school called SPJIMR for their
Mhm.
initial shortlisting, their
Right.
interview process also happens in the month of January itself.
That's right. Mhm.
And other thing is that when you look at, I've seen what each of the colleges does is that they
Gejo,
see.
Gejo, Gejo,
Sorry.
you could
Yeah.
explain. You could explain because many students would not be aware that SPGN has a profile based call and score based call. So if you could explain that for the students.
Okay, so SPJIMR is a college in Bombay, as you know, one of the top colleges here. So they have, so what they do is they want to preempt the process. So what they do is that they give out a profile-based call. So before even the CAT score comes out, they have a set of sort of students that they believe they want to interview. And then once the CAT results come, if you clear the basic cutoff of the CAT, and then you can go and attend that interview process. And this happens in January itself. January end, February, this
Mid
process
January
starts.
actually.
In mid
Sometime
January.
around 15 January, the profile based interviews are conducted.
Correct. And then post that they also have once officially they get the CAT score, then based on their CAT score, they call candidates as well. So you can actually get sort of admissions. The process starts much early. Another thing is that when I look at each of these college, typically what they do is that they, at least during the pre-COVID days, even now, even during the COVID time as well, they conduct interviews city by city. So I remember
Yeah.
GP. Okay, so
Mm.
it was about 3 years ago in Mumbai. The IMA interview happened on the third week of January,
Right.
and then I think Delhi happened much later. So they start in one city and keep on moving to take this interview call. So what
Mm.
if let's say you have got a pretty high percentile, and you know that you're going to get a call from these IMs for sure, and SPJMR based on the profile. If you have reasonably certain of it, it's very difficult to predict your profile based call from SPJMR, but at least you know you have got a fair idea of ABC,
Mm.
L, and those colleges.
Mm.
It is
Mm.
very imperative that you kickstart your the idea from, let's say,
Mm.
tomorrow
Mm.
or today.
Mm.
And we will also do a separate session. Probably we'll do it tomorrow or day after,
Yeah.
specifically talking about how to prepare for interview, GP.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
that's so
Uh,
your task is very simple. Your task
mhm.
is to do everything. It is going to be absolutely painful to do all the effort that did for the cat and not convert the call. So that is like,
Mm.
that's crazy.
Jijo, just to add to what you said, if you look at the calendar, this year I would say students are a little fortunate that IFT interviews will be delayed. They will be delayed because the exam could not be conducted in a few cities because of natural reasons. Okay. Otherwise, typically IFT results would have come out by end of December. Okay. And interviews would be scheduled by end January, beginning February, typically. Okay. So this year the cycle is likely to be NM interviews will be in first week of February. NM and Snap typically conduct their interviews early, so you can expect these interviews to happen in between 1st and 10th of February. Okay. And when I'm saying Snap, I'm essentially referring to SIBM, SCMHRD, and the other 10, 12 institutes which are there. They will give you a choice of the dates, but typically between 1st and 15th February, this will be done. They do it so that they can declare results early and hold on to students and collect the admission fees, which they will refund when you need it, but they will take their own sweet time in refunding the money. So that is a, let's say, a financial strategy that they have followed. SPJ, and as Gejo has correctly pointed out, the uh, profile-based interviews are conducted typically in mid-January, and the score-based interviews are conducted by maybe end of February, beginning March. But that's a Feb-March phenomenon. For that, typically there will be sufficient time. As far as I am concerned, you don't know what is going to happen. As Gejo said, at times Ahmedabad has started from Bombay, at times it has started from Delhi, at times it started from Calcutta. You don't know. So some of you are going to suffer. And it is not that if Ahmedabad starts from Bombay, Bangalore will also start from Bombay, Calcutta. No. Calcutta might start from Chennai, Bangalore might start from Delhi. So some of you are definitely going to get your interview calls early, which means beginning February. Okay. So beginning February, some of you will definitely get interview calls from these institutes. So please start preparing. You might think you have about 50 days. Is it sufficient? The answer is it is sufficient if you start now. If you say I will start after I've taken that, then at least I would not bet on you being able to convert it, or essentially because you will not have sufficient time to prepare.
Yeah, I think one of the things that at least the top IM does is that they stagger these cities so that there is no clash per se. So in
Yeah.
some cases, I've also seen IM Calcutta's interview happening in March and April as well. So the process is going to going to go for a period of time. But if you've
Mm.
got very high percentile, chances you're going to get multiple calls, and some calls, some interviews is bound to happen Jan end or first week of February. So anyone in this category who's got desired percentile, this for IM. For the non-IMs, of course, once the CAT results come out, you can start getting the
Yeah.
calls
The, the,
probably around
the
Feb
most of the
Marchish.
non-AMs will, yeah, Gijo, most of the non-AMs will happen after 15th February. Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm. So
because
whether it
IM
is
has to.
MDI,
Uh,
whether it is,
uh,
yeah, they need the results from CAT first of all, whether it is MDI or let's say XIM Bhubaneswar or IMT Ghaziabad, all of them will be post that. Any other institute that we are missing out on? Any major institute?
Yeah, so
Okay.
FMS, all this would be around that time only. It'll be steadily sort of.
FMS, we don't know when they can, because FMS being a Sarkari institute, they take their own sweet time, and there are times when they have conducted the interviews even in July, August. first week August, people would come from IIM Lucknow to conduct to attend the interviews. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's a different thing completely. Okay,
So
IITs and NITIs. Just one last thing. IITs
sorry.
and NITIs. Their application form will come out after CAT results, so please don't worry about them right now, and we'll cover that as we go along.
Okay. So for those in this category of ENB, this could be what the desired percentile. So your desired college may be IMT, and you would have probably got the desired percentile. And this, I'm not saying that this is a top percentile; it's a desired percentile. You got a percentile, and you've got colleges that you like to join in that particular percentile. If that has happened, you're going to get a call, and therefore it is important that you at least start doing some kind of preparation. Like GP and I will either do the session tomorrow or day after. We'll inform you about specifically talking about interview prep. GP. We will move to sort of the next set of category. These are people.
Hmm,
Let's talk about C, which is did not get the percentile, but
hmm,
actually don't mind giving
okay.
one more shot.
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
So I
hmm.
think the first thing that you do is that the story is not over. We still have Zat.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only that, Gejo, um, there are many other institutes which people tend to ignore. And as you were discussing, you have Snap right now. In addition to that, okay, so Snap and that are definitely available. But there are two, three very good institutes that students miss out on. I would add Tata Institute of Social Science to it. Then I will add Mica and ILMA. Three institutes, very good. While they are specialized institutes, they are top-notch institutes, and the kind of careers you have from these places is as good as the IIMs. So which is, I think these are three institutes which should be looked at. Yes, Tata Institute of Social Sciences is essentially for the HR program. Okay, and along with XLRI, it offers the best HR program in India. MICA is arguably one of the best marketing or communication institute in India. And ILMA, most people have a problem with it because of the word rural. So the word, the alphabet R seems to be a problem. Plus, please remember, India is essentially a rural-based country. It's a rural economy, and the reason the farm laws had to be repealed was that constitutes 60% of the population. Okay, so if you are not going to reach out to 60% of the population, what are you going to do MBA for? Okay, so these are institutes, and similarly, there are many other institutes which are available. So if you are looking at other options, there are plenty available at present.
Yeah. So though, so whatever is your decision of this would be obviously the answer is simple: retaking the test. Please do a couple of things. Like GP said, one of course is to take the test ZAT as an exam. Also evaluate some college that you get in, if it is possible. You have got a percentile X. Look at what are the colleges available to you based on that percentile X, and then apply it to some of these colleges this year. Get that call, then decide what is going to happen in the future. Because at the end of the day, the process of going through the, this preparation is it's painful. There might be some of you not prepared at all, just took the test just like that. And I remember the case, GP, of this student of mine who took the test just like that, got a 99 percentile. Okay, and then thought that I'm going to sit and prepare next year because this was generally a preparation. Next year the percentile is 97. तो मतलब
हाँ,
जो हाथ में है, okay,
हाँ, हाँ.
हाँ, उससे
Yeah,
just
and
figure out
so,
what.
so yeah, you see, my advice typically is you should not decide on retake till you have gone through that SNAP and these exams. And if you're from Maharashtra, you should not decide on retake till you have gone through Maharashtra CET. So I'm saying each state, each geography has its own set of institutes. You need to look at all of them.
Yeah, and also you should at least apply to some colleges, go to the process, get an
Mm,
admission, tear the admission offer, and say, okay, I was
mm,
getting into the college, I did not join.
mm,
I think that at least
mm,
you'll give your parents something to talk about.
mm,
My
mm,
son, no, he got a college that he didn't join. Just, he's writing the cat once again. And at least go through that particular process. Don't say that everything is over. So therefore, the next one is absolutely important here. This is the category GP. Both
yeah.
know.
Mm.
And so what
Not the
there.
desired percentile and can't wait.
Yeah.
I think it's a self-evident thing. You have to take admission to whichever college you are getting into. And for this category D, I will say it is even more important not to be very picky and choosy. You should be looking at which are the good colleges available which provide a decent opportunities and go ahead with it. Okay? Because in any case, you can't afford to wait. The only criteria is it a good college? Many people say, no, I don't want to do HR. Why? What's wrong with HR? No, it is not very dynamic. You have not even worked in HR. How do you know it's not dynamic? Just because people say it is not dynamic doesn't mean it. Okay. So similar things I come across every year. So this category, I'll say, please, your criteria has to be a good college. Okay. And please remember, if you are going lower down the rung in terms of type of colleges, most of the opportunities will be in sales and marketing, and very few opportunity in finance. Yes, operations also you'll get, but finance or strategy consulting, those opportunities typically will not be available. So your task at this level is going to be pick out the best available institute and go ahead with it. Put your effort. Remember, there are large number of people who have students who have a very good career despite coming from an average institute, while there are large number of professionals from IIMs who have had a pathetic career.
Yes, of course, for the category D, this one is still on. That you still
Hmm.
have that Snap, Test,
Yeah.
Mica as an examination. Irma has also their own test, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mm.
MHCT as exam. So to add to what GP is saying, is that at the end of the day, when you look at a management career, once you become a CEO, you're not a CEO of marketing, CEO of finance, CEO of operation. It does not matter where you start your journey. This is after the experience that I basically did systems GP, IT. That is my major. In my career, I've not even spent one time on IT. I did everything else other than IT. So your job is to look at the colleges, whatever be the percentile. For some reason, you might have got 80 percentile, but there are still some colleges that is available to you on that percentile. So your job at this point in time is especially for the category C and D. Even I would say for these set of students to sort of create certain backups, because you never know. So applying to colleges that is available now, some of the deadlines are also over. It's
Mm.
absolutely going to be crucial, uh,
Mm.
which means our decision to make when and how do I start my prep for PI, VAT, and GD, depending on category. If you're A and B, then the answer to
Mm.
this question is now.
Mhm.
To answer how, we will
Mhm.
come back and do one more session, right?
Mm.
Uh, which colleges should you apply to? How many? How many should you
Mm.
apply? Someone should apply. GP, let me start from there. By
This
taking the CAT, you apply to a lot of colleges. Sir.
yeah, yeah. You see, and yes, some 20 IMs are already covered. Okay. Apart from that, it is going to be a more of a financial decision, because unfortunately, every college you apply, you are down by a couple of $1,000. So you need to be very clear which are the ones I'm going to apply. So my suggestion would be take a bouquet of colleges, some of which have to be safe colleges. When I say a safe college, a college which will where you are reasonably sure you'll get an admission to, where you'll definitely be able to make it. So at least your lower end is covered. So at least two, maybe three such colleges. For example, if you are from let's say Gujarat, then I would say Nirma University should definitely be one of your colleges, because that will give you admission at something like a 80-85 percentile range also. And if you are 86 percentile, maybe that is what you should apply. If you are from a Delhi kind of a geography, maybe a college like BIMTech or a college like Lal Bahadur Shastri. Again, it will vary from individual to individual, but I'm saying there are colleges available. Do apply to a couple of safe colleges based on your score, so that at least something is covered for you, and you don't waste too much time, too much money rather than time applying all over the place.
I think that my take would be about five to anywhere between 5 to 10. That will be what my number would be. So
I
that will
think
be
five might be a little on the lower side, Gijo. But yes,
so let's
closer
uh,
to
so
10
let's
is what I would look at.
so let's put 10 GP. Okay, huh?
Yeah.
In that 10, you would probably want to look at something about three, which is aspirational.
Mm,
Uh, three is like reasonable, realistic, and about
mm,
three, which will be a ekdam safe bet.
yeah.
Something like that. Some application you should plan. Whichever is a lot of colleges, I believe, are still available. You will have to make the decision now. I think the last date is getting done. So to
Mm,
help you with that, what we'll do is so the objective at the end of the day, that whatever process that you've done so far, I need to get at least one interview call.
One interview.
उसको ना तो apply करना ही है, एक तो चाहिए. I want to go through the process at least. One interview call I need. Whatever is my percentile that I've got, I need one interview call. I want to convert that interview, tell the world that I got a call, and then you make a call
Right.
next time. So what you can take out of this process that you've done so far in the camp as an outcome is, I just want to do it, and then I'll figure out later what needs to be done.
Hmm.
So with that in mind, we're going to do a cluster. I'm sorry. So we'll do a cluster wise analysis. GP, can you explain what do you talk about cluster?
Yeah. See, when we look at institutes, it is very difficult to rank institutes. Ranking is a difficult process, and especially for people outside the academic circle, it becomes a little difficult because that also means judging institutes based on multiple parameters, okay, for which information is unlikely to be available or shared with people like us. So what people like me do is we say, okay, end of the day, what is my purpose? My purpose is to help a student decide which college to join. Okay, between competing choices, I have got, typically a student will say, I have got these 5 options. Which one should I go for? So that is my task to help you take the right decision. So how do I do it? I say, okay, what is a student looking for? A student is looking for 2 or 3 things essentially. One is obviously placement. Okay, so placement. Second is the cost. Okay, so from a student's perspective, if he or she can get a reasonable placement at a reasonable cost, that's the best college. Okay, other things are important. I'm not saying they are not important, but they are not measurable by us because of lack of information. And these two pieces of information are available to us. So what we typically do is we look at these two along with this intangible called the brand or the reputation, and try to group college into various clusters. So cluster one would be the top institutes. Cluster two would be the next best. Cluster three would be the next best. So if you have to choose between you have 5 colleges in front of you. I'll say go for the college which is in the highest cluster. Supposing you have one college in cluster two, all other colleges are in cluster 3 or 4, then go for the cluster 2 college. So this becomes a kind of a gradation. Supposing you have colleges within the same cluster, 5 colleges within cluster 2, okay, then there's a gradation which is there. There'll be a category 2A, cluster 2B, and cluster 2C. So 2A has to be preferred over 2B, 2B over 2C. Okay. In addition to this, there would also be a factor called the specialization, which plays a small role in the whole scheme of things. Most of the time, I will say go for a general specialization so that you can decide for yourself in second year as to which one you go for. But if you don't have that option, then it is going to be a function of your choice. But broadly, clustering is to break institutes into various levels based on which you can take a decision as to which institute to join.
Right. So let's to also add, I think that you should not look at while we do this, one important thing is that placement is, after all, uh, an average placement is some dude in the college getting a particular salary. That's what that is. It will not reflect on how much I'm going to get. Or let's say placement is what salary that you get immediately after graduation. You have a career that is going to span for the next 40, 50 years. I know a lot of people who have started very low and made it really big in their life. But so therefore, I think, but but to kind of look at some sort of analysis, some sort of a data, we have to look at this. Plus, please do understand that your life is going to be determined by how well you do in the marketplace in your life. School obviously gives you opportunities there. So for this is, let me open. All of you would know gpkafunda.in. That's a website, gpkafunda.in. So when you log in there, in the initial itself, we can say jaye to jaye kahan. So let me just click there. So this is an article that GP has written, and then I will just use his article. So here, what GP has done is to put the colleges in cluster, all different cluster, and you can actually, for each cluster, GP has also a video there, so you can watch that later. What we'll run through is run through each of these clusters and talk about some few things, important things that you want to miss out. And we probably can touch upon what kind of percentiles you'll get the calls from these colleges. These are this time Given the fact that a lot of these IMR has got multiple parameters, it is very difficult to pinpoint as to what percentile will get a call. But I think we can get a fair idea with this one. So ABC is, of course, your cluster one ABC is where you want to get it. I think
and
C
and,
story
and
is
just
split. Yeah, sorry.
just to be
Yes.
clear, ABC is a alphabetical order thing which I've
Yeah.
written. That does not make B better than C or A better than B. It doesn't mean anything. It is just a pure. So A, B, C for all practical purposes are the same. You get exactly the same opportunities. And when I talk of placements, I don't talk of only the salary. I talk about the kind of companies and kind of opportunities you get, which means the kind of work profile you'll get, and they're going to be exactly the same. So there's nothing to debate. In any case, you can't apply to those places all over again. You have done. To me, in this cluster, Gejo, there's an important school which is still open, okay, which is FMS, Faculty of Management Studies. Yes, number 5. Now, those of you who have not applied to this institute, please do so. The criteria for this institute is, yes, they have a composite score which they calculate, but to put it in a very, very simplistic manner, if you are above 99 percentile as a male or above 98.5% or 98 percentile as a female, you can apply. The reason, and this is general category. For other categories, I'll give you the number very shortly. But general category, male 99, female 98. Anything below these numbers, if you're going to apply, the chances of getting an interview call are going to be very, very small. Okay. They have a gender diversity score, which is why girls get a call at a slightly lower score. Okay. The call, this is still open. I think a couple of days are left, so please do apply if you have not done so already. This is a very good institute in terms of placements, very, very high in the list. Um and in terms of cost, because for many people cost is an important criteria, possibly the cheapest MBA in India, okay, along with the Jamnalal Bajaj.
Yeah. To talk about this ABC, I think C is pretty clear because any 99.5 plus, right? GP for male and 99 for
Actually,
female.
Gijo, last year it was 99.63. One of our
6-3.
students, yeah, 19 Inzaj Bhaduria, he's right now in I'm Calcutta. He was at 99.63 percentile, and he was possibly the last person to get interview call. And I'm referring to him specifically. He was my student in PDB personalized because everyone told him you will not convert. He converted. He's right now studying in IIM Calcutta. Okay, so C, A, and C, a general category candidate, and with no diversity, which means a a male general engineer. A and C, you should be looking at a 99.65 to get an interview call. Anything less than that, that would not happen.
The B has got a lot of criteria, work experience, this, that, and
Yeah,
stuff.
B, if you have work experience for let's say 2.5 years, and you're a female with good academic record, you could get an interview call at 96.5, 97 percentile also. And if
In
you're
any case,
male, maybe another half a percentile.
we don't have to make any decision there because it's already
That's
done.
right.
We are already applied. We have to make a decision with respect to FMS. Okay. And other
And
thing,
accelerate.
yeah, this is something that I think that if somebody's today is the last date, I think December 10th, no, December
Yes,
today's 10th, right, GP?
that's
Uh,
right.
if you don't apply to that, I'll personally come and kill you. This whole idea is whatever be a category A, B, C, D. I think that allows you option. For example, SPJMR, your CAT did not go well. They also accept the ZAT score. So based on the
That's
ZAT
right.
as also you get an opportunity. There are a lot of schools that apply in all the cluster. There are schools that take the ZAT score. ZAT, ladies and gentlemen, is a test that you must take. So never ever think that just because people have this myth that say that is stuff, that is stuff. That is like
And
a
there are two
stupid
myths,
logic.
Gijo. That is stuff and that is XLR is HR. These are two
Uh,
things I'm sick of clearing this doubt. But unfortunately, it keeps coming back to me.
Yeah, this is a school. Okay. And especially for those in CD category, apply to Tata Institute of Social Sciences. Apply. It's a test. It doesn't matter MA, HR, we'll decide later. You join HR and you probably love it. So this is sort of
Yeah,
another school that
and
one.
those of you who belong to OBC, NCOBC, EWS, SC, ST, PWD categories, please remember these government institutes are extremely important. FMS has reservation, XLRI has no reservation. So if you happen to be a SC candidate or a ST or PWD candidate or a OBC, please make sure you apply to these institutes. You can afford to ignore XLRI. You cannot afford to ignore FMS or Tata Institute of Social Science. These are important places for you. Okay.
And this
And
whole
so FMS, I missed mentioning FMS. If you are a EWS or an NCOBC candidate, 95 percentile is the number you should be looking at. Maybe about 93 percentile actually. If you are SC, you could look at 85 percentile. ST, you could look at ST, you could look at ST and PWD. You could look at something like a 75, 76 percentile.
yeah, and just ignore this HRM now. You
Yes.
apply to
Hmm.
figure out later. Okay.
Yes.
So what else? Jamanala Bajaj, of course, there is time. In fact, there will be no interview here. Is that
Yes.
test you take, and they don't have an interview process also, and they didn't have last year.
Mhm.
SPJMR, I think the date is done. Anything else here?
I think
Yeah,
all of the others are done. And yes, number 16. When you are applying for XLRI, please do not ignore XLRI NCR campus. It is
yeah.
going to be as good as XLRI Jamshedpur campus for the simple reason the selection process is the same, faculty is the same, and they are planning to have common placement process also.
So,
Exactly what IFT did for Calcutta.
so, uh, so those of you, anyone above 99.6 percentile can safely say that you're going to hit a college. What about GP in this cluster number one?
Mhm.
99 percentile, 99 to 99.5, that range, which would be, I think,
You see,
uh,
there will be other institutes which will come into play. 99 to 9. Yes, you are highlighting these Lucknow, FMS. They would be the ones. SP Jain, that it would be there. Indore and Kozhikode would also be there. Yeah. But the issue with the IIMs always is that they have made it a very very complicated formula.
hmm,
There's a gender diversity, there's a academic diversity, then there are marks weightage for 10th class graduation scores. I am in Dollar and Kozhikode last year. Non-engineers were getting calls even, and this is both boys and girls, at something like a 93, 94, 95 percentile. In fact, one of my students last year from Delhi University, BCom, uh, had about 94.5 percentile. He got calls for both Indore and Kozhikode and converted Kozhikode. Yeah,
yeah.
he's right now in Kozhikode. So which is why to me, when I'm looking at IIMs, I'm saying I'm not too bothered about them because that ship has sailed. There's nothing you
Okay.
can do about it except wait for the call to come. Or my score is pathetic, it won't come, so let me focus on something else. But that ship has sailed, so don't worry about them. Worry about the other institutes at this point of time. Look
I
at
think the
where
worry
where should you be applying. Hmm.
the worry will be all those people in those 98 percentile GP, 98.5. Is there
No,
something
no,
that I
but
can
but
get somewhere?
Jijo,
Uh,
if you remember, we discussed my niece Sakshi.
right.
98.05 percentile. I am Lucknow. She's right now studying there. So it is not that 99, 99, 99.5. You don't have options. You have these. I am Lucknow is there, especially if you have gender and academic diversity benefit. The problem essentially is if you are a general engineer male, and the next worst category to be is general engineer female. So these are the, let's see, the bottom two categories in terms of the preference. Despite
Then
that,
you
they seem to be the largest number of people in the campuses. But for them also, we'll have IITs, IIT Bombay, Delhi, NITI. These are the institutes where you'll have a chance. You'll have a chance in MDI Gurgaon. Okay, because these places you'll have a you won't have a disadvantage at least. And it
no,
and most of them will get interview calls based on the score only.
even if you're that category GP, for example, I am Indore has got I think 20 percentage weightage for CAT, 40 percentage
Yeah.
for 12,
Hmm.
37 percentage for 10th, and 3 percentage for some one other thing.
Gender
So
diversity.
then
Girls.
diversity. Uh, so
Uh,
even there, so it is not as though that every institute is biased towards non-engineers and like that. So,
mhm.
but like GP said, this ship has sailed. So we have to just wait,
There's nothing
and we
you
can
can do about it. And Jijo, I strongly believe if there's something with beyond my control, I'm not going to worry about it.
right, and we can click on and this and watch the video of this. I think this is one completely misunderstood cluster number two. Okay,
Yes,
I think we'll spend some time here. You'll get
very
some.
important cluster. Hmm, hmm.
Okay,
And
the
Jijo, this is the cluster where you have those people now. For someone who has my kind of academic record, would now
hmm.
not get an admission to any of the IIMs. barely managed to get a 60% in 10th, just about 65% in 12th. And I know students every year like this who have this kind of academic record, don't make it to IIMs because of the past sins, if I can use the word, and they end up making to going into MDI and all most of the institutes which are mentioned here.
This is a cluster, I think, for engineers. I'm using the word because you have got a NITI which requires you to be an engineer to apply. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm.
IIT
IIT
Bombay, IIT Bombay engineer or a postgraduate, I think, even a CA,
engineer,
CS also
postgraduate, or a professional.
professional. Then you have, I think, Delhi, Delhi, which is IIT
Delhi
Delhi as well.
allows the non-engineers to apply. Hmm.
This is something that a lot of non-engineers don't know. Okay,
Hmm.
you have
Hmm.
an opportunity to apply to. So some of these IITs do. Which are the two IITs? GP, I think Delhi and Madras, right?
Yeah,
Which
only
allows
two. Only
out
two,
of all
Delhi
the
and Gujarat.
all the two, the IIT Delhi also allows a non-engineer to apply. So if you're a non-engineer, you still have that particular college here, and these are their thing will open after the results comes out.
Hmm.
Uh, and typically, I think this NITI is about 97 percentile, if I'm not right. If I'm right.
Niti
Uh,
Jijo, there are two programs. This one is PGDIM,
yeah.
Industrial Management. There's another program called PGD ISCM, which will be low. Okay, yeah, it is number 26. Okay, so both the please apply for both the programs. You can later on decide I don't want to join ISCM. I'm never been able to understand what ego comes in which stops students from clicking another button. Please click.
Yeah, but you have to
Hmm, hmm.
explain what is ISCM, GP, I think.
Okay,
This
it
is
is a postgraduate diploma in industrial safety and environment and something I don't know the exact thing. But
mm,
my point is essentially it is nitty. The placement opportunities are going to be extremely good, and hence it is something that you should definitely apply to. Okay? To me, end of the day, if clicking extra button gives you an opportunity which you can evaluate, why not do it? My suggestion to all the students: just go to the website of NITI, look at the course and course curriculum, you'll find it fairly interesting. And most importantly, the companies find it interesting, hence they're picking up students from there.
uh, anyways,
Okay.
the
And
decision.
yeah.
Sorry, GP. Sorry, please. Sorry.
And along the same lines, if you're applying for MDI, if you have applied MDI, the date is over. I hope you have applied for HRM also and IM also. Many students in MDI will only click one box, which is I will apply only for PGDM. No, apply for PGD HRM also, apply for IM also. Again, so my point is the same. Even if they are going to charge me 500 or 1000 rupees extra, I know I have a chance. Let me create, because for all you know, you might get admission to one of the other programs for various reasons.
Yeah. So the thing is that whether you want to join a college or not join a college, that does not merit a discussion at this point in time, because that merits a discussion once you convert the call. So create opportunity, if especially for those of you are in, let's say, C category, D category, with probably I think about 90. This requires what percentile? Let's give a quick idea.
Hmm,
Uh,
hmm.
uh, uh, eh,
Now,
Bombay would be about
Bombay will be as low as 97 if you have a good academic record. Without a good academic record, it could be 99.23. So something 97 to 99.5 is the range for IIT Bombay. NITI will be about 97.5. On the lower side, it could go to 96.5. So if you are going to be 96 and above, you should definitely apply to NITI as a general category candidate. And for the others, again, as I had given for FMS, the same rule would apply.
these are all government
Hmm.
run colleges, right? So
Government
if you're
institute, so
uh,
yes. Hmm. Okay.
so if you are
So
if you're
IIT
in any.
Delhi will be something like a 97.5, 98 percentile. Below 97, applying does not make sense. IIT Delhi again has a couple of programs. One is your regular MBA, one is a telecom management. Please apply to both of them. Telecom management is essentially the industry focused program, but the placements are good, so and the learning opportunity is high. And please remember, one of the best things about IITs is they have very good industry connect because of being the top engineering college in the country. So they are able to get good placement opportunities. And yes, majority of the placement opportunities will be connected to things like operations, let's say analytics. If you're looking at the hardcore finance, that might be a small challenge, or a very strong marketing profile, that will be a challenge. But as Gejo said, that's a call you take later on if you have options. If you don't have options and you have to join, then these are very good institutes. And finally, um, the fee is not very high. So for those of you interested in numbers, a salary of 18 20 lakh from IIT Delhi is not unheard of as far as MBA is concerned. And the fees, I'm sure you'll realize, is much lower than what you'll do an MBA without taking a loan, essentially.
One of the things I should say, this specialization is very overrated, uh, because first of all these IIMs and most of the colleges don't have specialization. SPJMR has a lot of colleges. You decide on electives. Plus, I've seen a lot of people saying finance, and enter the college and decide, oh my goodness, I'll do something else. And
Hmm.
plus, once you start working, specialization is just one part of the whole story. And also, let's
Yeah.
say if you really want to do marketing and you get an opportunity, IIT Delhi, I'm sure that you will figure out way in which you can
No,
get jobs like this.
see, end of the day, what we talk about is that the kind of stones they take, they decide what they want to do, and it is quite possible the profile they are picking up is less interested in marketing. Finally, one of the things people miss out is their batch sizes are not very high. It is not that, and I'm Bangalore, I think, has a batch size of almost 500, 550, 450, 600. I don't remember what number is it. And IT would have a batch size of maybe about 90, 120. So small batch sizes means if a company is coming for to pick up stones in bulk, they would not get opportunity. And then some specializations tend to get neglected. But to me, that is, as Gejo said, nothing that I would be worried about.
Huh. So a lot of people, I think I was talking to a lot of my batchmates, but said IMC batchmates saying that, do you know we are known for finance? Everybody like, what? Where did that come from? The director of
Many of
IMC,
these things are known only to people who are preparing.
director, what? We are known for finance. Finance? How? It's like sort of crazy. And of course, our snap, ladies and gentlemen. So if let's say this is a logic, GP. If for some reason you're okay with going to an IIM Trichy, then you should be okay to go to
Hmm.
SIBM, no?
Absolutely right.
So then
See,
why
I would
not
say
write?
by and large, all the cluster two institutes are similar. There would be a minor variation, but by
Yeah.
and large, they are similar. Hmm. Hmm.
So please take the snap. I think the snap date is
And
already
just
done.
to explain this cluster logic again, Jijo, if you
Huh,
look at symbiosis at number 27
hmm.
and compared with the NMIMS at number 31, the only reason why symbiosis at 27 and, and NM at 31 is NM has a very high fees.
Acha.
Okay. NM is the fees is would be 25 lakhs, symbiosis will be 17, 18 lakhs. So to that is the reason. Otherwise, from an education perspective, from learning perspective, from placement opportunity perspective, all these institutes between 25 in 2C are exactly the same.
So the way in which
Okay.
you think about application, if you decide to apply to this college, which means
Yes.
2B, the first logic is to ensure that I have applied to all these 2Bs. That's the
Yes.
first logic.
All 2Bs. I will go a step further. You should be
Uh,
okay applying to all institutes in cluster 2,
two.
2A, 2B, 2C.
If you know that
Okay.
you have a percentile to get one, then you
Hmm.
apply to all. Okay,
Yes.
that's the basic logic. We are moving to cluster number 3, which will be this will be anything between 95 percentile, no, around that
Yeah, around
hmm,
about 95, 96 percentile. The institutes which in cluster 2 would be typically 97 plus. Okay.
correct. So again, we have got SCMHRD, which is this is
Okay.
snap based one. Anything
Hmm.
else here? We have got another IIT
IIT
Kharagpur.
Kharagpur, very
Hmm.
good institute, especially if you want to get into operations, analytics, and related areas. Again, IIT Kharagpur, low fees, which is a huge advantage, a small batch size. IIT Kharagpur also has a HR program, which is also very good. So if you're interested in HR, that is again a program you need to apply. And what Jijo said, I hope you have not forgotten, IIT's the application process starts after CAT results are declared. Okay. But please
So
remember, it will be difficult to get into any of the IITs with for a general category candidate with a score less than 96.
and some of these colleges, I believe the IMT also you get calls at
Hmm.
90 also, no? 90, 93 as well.
Yeah,
I
90,
remember.
90 plus you have a chance. 90 plus you have a chance. All these institutes, in fact, you look at XIM Bhubaneswar would be 90 to 95 percentile. Um, Even XLRI, this global MBA will be 90, 90, 92, 93. Then IMT is 90 plus, IMI is 90 plus. ISMA is actually 80 percentile is the eligibility based on CAT or ZAT score, and then they have their own exam, which is essentially a, let me say, current affairs general knowledge exam, which they're called issues in social awareness. Okay.
So
Then Sidna Mumbai, okay, that's separate. Great Lakes, Chennai, 1 year program, 90 percentile plus. If you have 2 years work experience, please apply. A very good institute, very good program, and the best part is you will get over with it in 1 year.
Yeah. And this Sydenham, this college in Mumbai,
Hmm,
they have two programs. One is MMS, Masters in Management Studies, which is
hmm,
through the CET, Mara CET. But they also have an
hmm,
autonomous program run by the college, which is the PGDBM program, which takes the
hmm.
CAT score. And also, I think the CAT takes a CAT score. So basic point is that this is the college. If you are less than 90 percentile around that time, 90 to 95,
Hmm,
I think
hmm,
95 to 97 is a vague place to be. So there are colleges 95, 97 plus,
hmm,
and there are 90 95 a lot of colleges. If you
hmm.
decide to apply the exam Bhubaneswar, I think that tak tak karke ek, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the 4 to 5 colleges you should pick from here itself.
Yes, you should. You should. And again, IIT Chennai or IIT Madras, non-engineers can apply.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So IIT Madras would be about 90, right? 92, 93, if I remember.
No, IIT Madras for the general category will be something like a 96 percentile,
Okay. Okay.
96, 97. See, the number of seats is low, so the percentile cutoff is
Okay.
much higher. If you are OBC, I would say EWS on OBC about 90, SC about 82, 83, and ST would be something like 75. ST and PWD will be about 75.
Oh, so if you are a non-engineer with a or even engineer with a 97 percentile plus that college, if you are the
Yes,
90, 95 those category, you can pick some of these colleges here.
yeah,
So
that's right.
this is, I
Hmm.
think XIMB का हो गया ना? I think आज था, I think.
Ex-
और कल था, no, no.
XMB, I think it is over, but I'll need to check.
I
Hmm.
think it was today. Other colleges, just apply first, then think. So these are especially those colleges.
IMT is over, but they typically open up after CAT results come out. Hmm,
Acha, okay,
hmm,
okay.
hmm.
So then comes, I think this the cluster
Okay,
four.
okay. In this
Uh,
cluster, Gejo, I think IMI is still open. I
okay.
think the date is 13th. So probably they have a day or two. Tomorrow or day after, I think is the date closure date for. Okay, TAPME will be the next cluster. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this cluster is where you're still having good colleges. I think we are still there. TAPME is a college that I remember. I think TAPME start giving calls out from 85% onwards. That I know,
Yes.
but they have got other criteria as well. Work experience, other thing. This is a
Hmm.
college that with if you have experience that this is a college that this is actually a very old college. Uh, this I remember.
Hmm.
This when I applied for my cat back then, this
Hmm.
college still existed,
Hmm.
and this college
Yeah.
was I don't know what happened. I think they don't market themselves well. I think that's what. That's,
Jijo, tap me, and not only tap me, there's one more college we'll probably will come to later, Bhartidasa Institute of Management. These are two colleges based in South, and typically people in North are completely unaware of them. Okay, partly it is our blindness to the South of India's, and partly the institute themselves are to blame. They have not marketed themselves well. They are low profile. They don't do too much of PR and other and advertising. Hence, people don't come to know. But very good institutes, both of them. TAPME especially. Uh, if you look at TAPME as such, the section the cutoff is about 85 percentile. Till last year it used to be 80. Now they have shifted up to about 85 percentile as the thing. But more importantly, they will even look at your academics profile, which means work experience and other aspects of your personality before taking a call. Okay, don't be surprised that 85 you will convert and 95 you may not convert. That happens frequently in TAPME. Okay. Secondly, TAPME is a very good institute, especially for people with work experience, and provides excellent placements in most of the domains. But IT and consulting seem to be a strong area for them. So if you are someone from one of these backgrounds and join TAPME, I'll say good career opportunities are going to be available. Salary packages of 12 to 15 lakhs are fairly common in TAPME.
I think some of these colleges don't look at the sectional cutoff also. I think TAPME doesn't look at it.
Actually, absolutely right, Jijo. In fact, even in
Uh,
cluster three, most of the IITs, IMT, IMI, ILMA, none of them are worried about sectional cutoff. Great Lakes, Chennai, Simsri, none of them are worried about sectional cutoffs. So sectional cutoff story by and large stops at cluster two. After cluster 2, we are talking about overall score only.
Okay, that's something to look at. And this is another culture where a lot of colleges that people won't know. I think Niti has come back here. I think ऐसे कैसे हो गया? No.
Okay, गलती से 2 बार डाल दिया हमने.
Okay, चलो
It
ठीक
should
है.
have been. Hmm, hmm,
Cat. Okay, so ठीक है. There is an MSc Finance. I think I don't know whether this program is still there. Okay, I'm not too sure.
hmm, hmm,
It's still
hmm.
there, I think. Yeah.
It was there
So
till last year.
okay, I think those should be there. So they have started. I think IMK. We forgot. GP has started all this program. No MSc
Yes,
Fin.
and all
Uh,
of them. In fact, last year also quite a large number of students asked me is it worth joining or not. My point is very simple. IMK, PGP Finance, and PGP, how are they different? If I do PGP and specialize in finance and do the new program called PGP Finance, both of them will provide same opportunities. Both of them have the same profs. Both of them have similar syllabus. Both of them will give you similar internships and final placements. So there's no difference. So to my mind, all the three programs which IMK has started, one was finance, one was LSM. There was a third one also. I'm forgetting the name.
yeah.
But
What is liberal? What
hmm,
LSM? Okay.
LSM, and then maybe it was okay. So it was two new programs, total three
Huh.
programs. All three of them are at par. You get into any one of them, please join.
I think, in which case, at this point in time, our issue is to apply. That's all.
Hmm, hmm,
Apply, go through the process. We'll decide later.
hmm,
Okay, so
hmm,
just don't. I think when you make this decision, no, I think the problem happens if I get in, will I should I join? Both are later. Today, you just figure out what are the you list down what are the 10 colleges I'm going to put some money in and just shut this chapter. Let them call you. Let go through interview process, convert it, and then think. Today, your job is to apply, and then you have in this one. I think there are a couple of colleges that people don't know here. GP,
yes.
some people down in uh, down the south won't know. I think this particular college.
Before that, Jijo, just to highlight again what we have been discussing, IIT Kanpur.
Where is it? Yeah.
Uh, there's an IIT Kanpur, there's an Indian Institute of Science at 52 number. Indian Institute of Science, extremely good program, a very small batch size of about 20
20.
students.
Yeah.
20, and I think the overall cutoff will be something like a 95 to 97 percentile, closer to 97 percentile. But small batch size, good program. It is more of a operational and analytics program. Should definitely apply to if you're okay with this area and happen to be an engineer. Okay. And yes, we come to the program which you are highlighting, Jijo. Uh, yes, Master of Finance and Control, Delhi University. Now it is the nomenclature has changed. However, I've continued with the old name because that is more recognizable. Now it is called MBA Finance. Okay, so they are trying to make it, yeah, which is what is written now. Okay, very good program. Again, Delhi University has multiple programs. This is one of them. After FMS, this is the next best program. As the name suggests, it is focused on finance. In addition, and here the overall cutoff is likely to be about 95 percentile for general category. EWS NCOBC about 90, and SC ST OBC can go down to as low as 75 odd. Okay. Definitely to be applied to whenever it open. At number 58, yes, MHROD. Okay. Similarly, there will also be somewhere MIB. All these are MIB's Master in International Business. Now it is called MBA International Business. Okay.
It should
MHORD,
be.
again, these are programs which should be applied to. Any Delhi University MBA program comes, please apply blindly. Reason is very simple. Delhi University is a premier university. It is based in Delhi, so industry interaction is terrific. Since it's Delhi University, which is government of India, the fees is going to be very small. Finally, because it is Delhi University, except for FMS, other institutes are not as rigorous in terms of academics. You'll have plenty of time to do lots of internships and learn on the job. So all way in all aspects you'll be gaining only. So all Delhi University programs to me are very very strongly recommended for these three or four reasons.
Yeah. There is other college. Goa Institute of Management.
वेरी गुड
Uh,
अगेन इन एनी केस यार गोवा तो एमबीए करने जाओगे तो ऐश है ना फिर तो.
yeah.
हम्म,
KJ Sumaya. I think
हम्म.
KJ Sumaya also a lot of program. He's starting at 70. I think 75 percentile to 80 percentile to
Yes.
85, 90. They've got opportunity for
ये,
everyone. Hmm.
see the way symbiosis does exactly what Gejo Sumaya does. The only difference is symbiosis does it across institutes. Here in the same institute, you'll have a 95 percentile program, 90 percentile program, and so on and so forth. But to me, the important thing is all the program, when it comes to placements, all opportunities are available to all students. So a retail madman student can go for any kind of marketing opportunity which comes your way. Okay? So again, when you apply for KJ Somaya, please apply for all programs. You can later on decide, okay, I don't want to do retail management, I'll go somewhere else. That's a separate issue. But when you're applying, please do so. And Bits Pilani, Bharti Dasan, number 65 and 66. Again, both these institutes will be something like a 80-85 percentile range institutes in terms of application. But academically very good placement opportunities. Yes, you're unlikely to look at a 20 lakh kind of a package, but reasonable fees, 2 to 5 lakh kind of a fees, 6 lakh kind of a fees. I could be a little off here or there, but reasonable placements. And since most students are always looking at the average salary will be something like a 10 to 12 lakh rupees. Okay, in today's era, if you can do MBA without taking a loan, I think you have added a couple of lakhs to your salary in any case. Hmm.
This is what you're talking about, no?
Yes,
Seven.
this is MBE. Okay,
That's the
even the
other one.
normal, yeah, the BE has to become MBE. That is incorrectly written. So maybe I'll have it corrected. But yes, Department of Business MBE is a good program again. Okay, again one of those Delhi University programs. If you look at it, FMS everyone knows. Next best is MFC. Then I will say MBE, MIB, MHORD. MIB is Master in National Business. MHORD is Master in Human Resource and Organization Development. And this is MBE, Master in Business Economics. All five programs should be looked at favorably, depending upon what percentile you have. This way, here the cutoff could be as low as 90 to 93 percentile for general category candidates, or maybe as low as 90 also. And then it will go down a little for the other categories proportionately. LIBA again is an institute which people will miss out if you're in North. Most of the South Indians will not miss out. And again, LIBA being a Christian minority institute, they have some kind of reservation for Christian candidates. So, Gejo, is it only for Roman Catholics or it is across all denominations?
I think it is for Roman Catholics. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, please check the website.
I think so. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure.
Neither of us 100% sure, but we know there's some kind of a reservation for students because, and that is a flexibility which is given to all minority institutes. It is not, which is not specific only to LIBA. Uh, Again, North India, four. People will tend to miss out on four: Foundation of Operation Research and Excellence, four School of Management. Okay, good institute, good backup institute. Again, not at the IMI level. The next best, if I look at in Delhi, is going to be four. Good program, reasonable opportunities, and as I always say, being in Delhi is an advantage. See, we need to understand a business program thrives in a business environment, which is why Bombay and Bangalore and Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Delhi have an advantage over most of the other cities in India because these three cities have a good thriving business community. So interaction with the industry becomes much more easier.
And then you go down
Okay,
this.
four would be something like a 80 percentile. You just go up. Four would
Sorry,
be
sorry.
80 percentile. Liba would also be about 80 percentile. Uh, Okay, the others, I think Bits Pilani would be about 80 percentile. Bharti Dasan would also be about 80 percentile. Uh, and since all of these are non-government of India, they would not have any reservation.
Yeah, so this is a 80 percentile, and then if here is also a lot of colleges which will put you under the
Hmm.
80 percentile, right? Uh,
Could be
75,
lower
80
also,
percentile.
75 range.
Yeah.
Okay, again, Jijo, just what you said earlier, that's evident here. Many of the students who are here would have applied to number 75, NMIMS Bangalore. If you can apply to NM Bangalore, you can apply to Nirma University also. You can apply to DTU also. Okay. So Lal Bahadur Shastri. These are typically a 75 percentile institutes. Okay. So as and when you get an opportunity, when you okay, another short while you'll have your scores. So please make sure you apply.
This symbiosis has
Hmm.
a snap actually gives, especially for those of you in D category and just want to do an MBA somewhere. Symbiosis actually give a huge lot of colleges
Yes.
in this cluster. So it's
And
not
and
just Symbiosis; they have
and
got a lot
Jijo, so
of colleges.
if you look at the gradation, at the
Hmm.
top I would say SIBM Pune and SCMHRD Pune at the same level. Though I have also put them in a different cluster, it is more because of perception than anything else. Okay.
That is right
SIBM
up the
Pune,
cluster two, right?
yes, cluster 2 end and cluster 3 beginning, something like that, or cluster 3,
Mm,
cluster 4. Yeah.
mm,
Okay. So these two institutes, but the next best institute will be SIBM Bangalore and SIIB Pune, Symbiosis Institute of International Business Pune. Then you'll have SIOM Nasik, Symbiosis Institute of Operations Management Nasik. Very good institute, ignored and by most of the people. And please understand, operations has become very very important in the last 15 years. And for those of you who are not aware, the entire online business, e-commerce, is a function of your operational effectiveness. If you are not good operationally, for example, to put it very crudely, if they cannot deliver your product in time, then they don't have business. They are running on operations. So operations is becoming very very important over the last 15 years. SIOM has also picked up accordingly.
So these are all, if you're in the 70, 75 percentile, you can
Yeah.
look at
Actually,
opportunity.
after I'm sorry, Gejo, just going back to
Sorry.
symbiosis. After that, you'll have SITM, SCIT. These two also are good. Then if you have if you are the ward of a defense personnel, they have SIMS, Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies. Okay. SIMS, yeah, SIMS Pune. Very good institutes, all of them. All these institutes which are mentioned, they are good. SIMC is on communications. Okay, so you can say it is a chota bhai of Mica. Okay, but Mica is much better known and has a much better industry connect and hence much better opportunities for you. Okay.
Then you have Vellingra. Basically, it is, if you got some 75% above, you'll get in the top 100 college. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and
It,
that is the way
but
you
the
need to look at. As long as I'm any of these 95 odd institutes which are mentioned in this so far, you will get a reasonable career. In the long run, it is not your institute. It is your work, your effort, how good you have been in your job, which is going to define things for you.
See, look, I think one of the problem that many of the people don't apply very effectively.
Hmm.
So even today, let's say that today, especially you for some reason your percentile is sort of not up to the mark, but yet you want to have some opportunity apply to schools, and then that should make sense. So if you go to this website, so I already told you how to get there. So it's you have to go to gpkafunda.in, type gpkafunda.in. It is the first, in the banner itself we can see this top 21 college. If you click there, this page will open up. This here we have not put in the percentile sort of cutoff. Last date is not mentioned, but so if you want to have more details on each of this cluster, there is a video that is being attached here. You can go through that. The GP has gone through and make a decision in terms of at least about 10 colleges to apply to and finish the story. There might be some of you who will be okay, like we had discussed last time, that you say that you're probably in this category, category C. Basically it's saying that, look, I wanted only the top 10 colleges, top 3 colleges. Did not happen this year, I can wait for next year. Fair enough. But for those of you in this particular category, I've got a percentile X. In that percentile X, what is the best that I can get? Apply to that, shut the matter, go to the process, decide later. And for those of you in CD category, please do note that we have got a ZAT, we have got Snap. The battle is still not over. You put in the effort for that, you'll get more and more opportunity. And those of you are in this particular category, and I would want to ensure that you guys start prepping for the interview process. Yeah, that's
जी जो will I'll
basically.
do one more thing. Possibly जो कहते हैं ना कि मैं पाँव पे कुल्हाड़ी मार रहा हूँ मैं अपने.
Hmm.
I'll do one more thing. A few years ago, I had run a campaign. I'd put up a post called "The Same Thing, Jaye to Jaye Kahan," and asking students to give me your details. I'll advise you as to what you can do. And I'd handled some, I don't know how many thousand inquiries then. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll create that platform again, and the students can fill in their details. They can say, okay, this is what we want, this is what our query is. I'll try to answer it. So give me about a week, I'll have it activated. By then you'll have your sectional percentiles also. You'll know what is the chance which you where you're likely to get a call, and then we can probably start working on that part. Yeah,
So what GP is saying, if I hear correctly, GP, you are going to personally answer the
yeah,
the
that's what I did last time. 8,000 odd inquiries I handled. It was a,
okay.
which is I said it was पाँव पे कुल्हाड़ी मारने वाली बात कर रहा हूँ. But at times I think it is worth the effort. Hmm. Yeah.
So what
Because
what
it
what
gives
will then
clarity.
So what we'll then do is to put that link, and where you can
Mm.
write directly to GP your query, and GP will personally handle that. So we are saying that will take about 5 6 days to bring it up, and we'll
Yeah,
inform the students through our various channels. Uh,
that's right. Mm, 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 mm.
so the okay, sir, I've got people
I,
have a lot of those queries. I think that a lot of you have got those specific queries. And what GPS said, ladies and gentlemen, is that he
okay,
will personally handle them.
okay.
Let's pick some
The
questions.
yeah, there's a question which says new IMs cutoff for OBC. Okay, now when you look at the cutoffs for OBCs, okay, let me put the new IMs typically. Uh, this is Ranchi, Raipur, Trichy, etc., etc. Those 6 7 colleges. Typically, they will have a overall cutoff of about 96.5, 97 for general category. Um, NCOBC and EWS will go down by about 5 percentile, so 90, 92 percentile range. Um, then we have SC will be something like a 80, 82 percentile, and ST could be anything from 70 to 75 percentile. Now, please remember this is a range which is there because some of them will give weightage for your for your academic background, some will give weightage for work experience, some will not. So there's going to be a variability, but that's a broad range you can look at. Okay? And as I said, don't worry. You have done what you could have. Now it's their headache. They will tell you whether you'll get a call or not. You can't do anything in that regard.
Okay, I'm going to put up some random some profile quickly. GP, you answer to each one.
Gejo, I think
Sorry.
okay. There's a question by Ishan Jan. I think I want to address this. What is
Okay.
the percentile required to convert a call for non-engineer mail? I want you to get rid of this stupid thing. What is the percentile required? A little while ago, did I not say Indranj Bhadoria is right now studying in IIM Calcutta, the possibly the last general category candidate to receive an interview call, 99.63 percentile. Boss, once you get an interview call, you are at par with anyone else. Now your interview performance will decide whether you'll convert or not. And I'll show you people with a 99.95 who did not convert their calls. So please get rid of the stupid thought that there is a percentile at which you convert. ओ क्यों तुम्हें क्यों बुला रहे हैं? Why was Imran called? Time pass करने के लिए तो नहीं बुलाते ना. They are okay wasting your time, but they are not okay wasting their own time. So please don't get into this trap that if I don't have a certain percentile, I will not convert. No, if you have got an interview call, you will convert if you want to. If you start with this thought, my percentile is low, I will not convert, then you will never convert. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Jijo.
So
Sorry for the
yeah, it
rant.
doesn't matter. Oh yeah, yeah, it doesn't matter. But you got a call, you will convert the call to do everything. That's what it is. I'm going to pick some data. GM
Sure.
fresher 91, 80, 79 and the cats. CL predicted percentile 99.62, which good calls.
99.62 means borderline case for ANC. And
Yeah.
no work experience means B is gone, which means all the other IMs are possible. So let's see.
Let's hope for the best. I'm going to put 97.6, 1 year work
Mhm.
experience. EWS category, any good college, any good stream will be fine. Don't want to repeat.
Yeah, so you'll get calls. Sukhdev, EWS candidate 97.76. If not the ABC, others are going to happen. Your difficult task is your graduation marks, which could go against you. But if that doesn't happen, don't worry. You will have IIT Bombay available to you, IIT Delhi available to you. Which are the other ones? Indore means okay. Sukhdev is a male, so I will assume it will be a little challenging for him without the gender diversity marks, but Kozhikode would be there. Shillong might be should be possible. Ranchi and the new IIMs will be there. So Sukhdev, my request to you is please start preparing. Don't wait. You have mentioned you can't wait. You have to join this year. Don't want to repeat. Great. Start preparing. You will make it to a good institute. At
Chalo, okay.
97.76, even without a reservation, you'll get a call from MDI.
So Abhi, this is the third time he is posting. So please don't post too much. I will just not pick it up. Okay, I'm going to put him in use timeout. Okay. This question is a cutoff for NCOBC engineering email. These are mentioned.
Say it will be about 97 percentile for ABC, 97, 97.5, maybe on the lower side 96. Unlikely to go below that.
Okay.
Hmm, hmm.
72 expression percent 94.23, 96, 94, 92. NCOBC fresher
Same,
female.
Masha, same thing which I've said a little while ago. Okay. So percentile is fine. NCOBC fresher female FMS. I hope you have applied, Masha, and Sukhdev, you too. I hope you have applied to FMS. What is the last date for FMS? Is it over? I think
नहीं
it is
नहीं नहीं
over.
है
है
दिसंबर
ना? तो FMS पहले apply करो, guys. All those of you who have a chance of getting a call from FMS, please apply. Don't worry, my verbal score is high or low. Don't worry about those things. Just apply. Hmm.
CA with 2 years experience. What is expected percentile for ABC?
See, this will you won't have any advantage in C. It is
Yeah.
Ahmedabad where you have a chance of getting a call at a low percentile. Arnav, so could be as low as a 97 odd. But Arnav, let's not talk hypothetically. What is your percentile?
Hmm.
And if you have work experience, then B might be possible at a lower score also.
What is next? GEM, general engineer male with good
Mhm.
accounts. Fresher with what percentile can I get IMKL? So L is what?
About
9,
98 odd, 97.5,
98.5.
98. Yeah. L would
98.
be about 98.5 plus, and K would be something like a 98. I because they have a gender diversity and a low weightage for cat, you will probably need to have a 98.5, 99.
अभी next one में GPU अब भड़क जाओगे. Unknown as a
Mhm,
question.
mhm,
CL predicted percentile is 96. EWS
mhm.
uh,
डालो ना
EWS
यार,
category.
डालो.
FMS.
See, see, if it is a borderline case, you should definitely put. You don't know how things pan out. Okay, so don't take a chance. I would say if you had said I am a EWS with a 94 percentile, I would have said maybe you don't need not. 96 percentile predicted by us, you should apply. It's a borderline case maybe, but you can get through.
Sir, I have scored 61 in slot 3 VRC. CL expected percent 90. Non-engineer OBC male with decent accounts. Which call to accept sir once please जियो सर आपके वजह से आया 32. अच्छा थैंक यू. So 90th percent हमने बोला था ना which is OBC which means you are allowed to apply to all those.
OBC,
हाँ,
all Bharat Sarkar institute you should apply to.
हाँ.
OBC, you could even get a call from no, not from if not from sorry FMS, but MIB, MFC, MHORD, all of them are possible for you. IITs you should definitely apply to. Engineer, non-engineer, non-engineer. So IIT Delhi and Madras you should apply to. Okay,
Non-engineer है ना? Correct?
non-engineer to Delhi,
हाँ, हाँ,
Madras.
okay, okay, okay.
Hmm, hmm.
And all sarkari whatever you find, please apply. Yeah.
Yes, all Sarkari should definitely apply, Rakesh.
Plus you have got tap me and all the category as well, no? So those
Yeah,
colleges should.
TAPME, IMT, then XIM Bhubaneswar, all of them should be your backup options.
Yeah. So fresher gems lot 3 total 84.
Hmm.
84 is what? Score,
It,
no?
yeah, I should have given us a percentile. 84 should be about 98 percentile, 97.98 percentile. So, yes,
80
while
and huh.
IIMs might be, new IIMs will be possible, Anubhav, but IITs and NITI should be on. And Anubhav, please check your percentile and let us know. And as I said, it has to be the CL percentile predictor.
Grandfather clock question slot 3 answer should have been 3 answers is not option 2. We already spent 1200 rupees and put the objection. Okay, let's say that. So Sudhir we already mentioned, no? I think that we already ticked that up. So we have got somebody from Sweet Sugar. Oh my God. Sir, how to focus on ZAT and PI both? Now, this is a good question. So
This
please
is
advise
a
for
very,
students
very
who can't
important.
wait for next year. Focusing on ZAT gives more chances, but PI is important.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. See, to me, as she's rightly mentioned, I'm assuming it's a she. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Sweet
I
Sugar
don't
मतलब
think too
सी
many
होगा.
boys would write this name as Sweet Sugar unless they want to confuse others. Okay. Okay. The two of us already, in any case, beyond that now. Okay. But coming back to it, my suggestion is that you fix a time slot for your interview and this preparation. You realize when you start preparing for interview, one of the things which is going to take you a lot of time to prepare is going through your academics all over again. So two things you can start doing along with your ZAT preparation is one, Start revising your academics, the basic concepts, the important concepts which you have studied, things like your internships, if any, or reports or projects which you have done, assignments you have done, go through them. Secondly, focus on current affairs, which means start reading the editorial page of the newspaper, which in any case will be helpful for that also, because general reading will always be helpful when you start preparing for that. So these are two or three things you should do definitely. Third thing which I would want you to do is, can you start writing the story of your life? Every day you could write a couple of pages, so that by the time you are done with that, you have a 24-page autobiography available to you, which will be extremely helpful when you go for the interview.
Yeah, so that can get decision making, critical reasoning. Maths is already
हाँ,
done. You've done CAT.
डेली
Taking mock
प्रैक्टिस थोड़ा
tests.
बहुत चाहिए.
So the personal interview is an art of telling your story, right? Your story, your life. And plus, I think, like GP said, current affairs you can start now. Start having the habit. It's very easy to manage. I think we'll do a session on it tomorrow, day after on PI. Please do attend, and then we'll take it. So we've got a question from Agrawal Hitesh. Sir, can you please say the difference between old and new IMs in terms of pedagogy, peers, interaction case, or otherwise competition? When I took the CAT GP, that
Yeah,
was I am Indore and Kozhikode was baby because that was their
yes,
first year.
that's
I
right.
think we are attaching this name simply because we are attaching these names. I don't think they are calling themselves new.
No,
I think Ranchi is
they
now
don't.
no longer new. Ranchi has been now here for quite a long time, right? So in terms of differences is what? So in every single IM, I believe the pedagogy is going to be by and large very similar.
Absolutely.
Uh, the peers are people have taken the CAT will be very similar. Interaction, of course, will be similar. The only thing that is not there is because probably the school has not had alumni base, but alumni base लेके करेंगे क्या मुझे पता नहीं जीपी थोड़ी ना. I will talk to all alumni
नहीं, but
1975 alumni.
कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता उसका, उसको, that's overrated. Also, look at it this way. I am Rachi, the placements were supported by I am Calcutta. So it's not the I am Calcutta alumni base working for I am Rachi. And same is true for all the other IMs. Okay. So one of the things that students need to remember or to understand now is these new IMs are putting a lot of pressure on the cluster 3, cluster 4 institutes. Today, the students are thinking, should I join IMT Ghaziabad IMI or should I go to IIM Amritsar? And remember, IMT Ghaziabad IMI are maybe 13-year old, while Amritsar is less than 5 years. So don't worry about new old story. You right now say, and Hitesh, this is typically a question I would not look at this point of time. I would say, I have applied, let me get the admission, I've got the call, let me get the admission and look at this kind of a thing, maybe in April. Secondly, because that's a decision needs to be looked at then. Secondly, you need to be clear, are you okay joining one of these institutes or not, or up to what level of institute you are okay joining, and accordingly take a call in April, not now.
Yeah, crown music. I think we'll have to assuming the gender. I'm going with the male GP. This crown music
Hmm,
will be a male. I'm assuming.
hmm,
Sir, I've gave CAT second time, scored 85%. Should I go for a reattempt?
hmm,
My answer, crown is that first of all we have got that. We have got Snap. You have got colleges that you can apply to. I think let's do all that. You worry about reattempt maybe after this process.
See,
With the 85 percentile, there are colleges that you get calls from. Let's
hmm.
convert it. They'll think about it later. That's
See,
my
one
answer.
of the questions which always comes back to me from students is, "Sir, will it not be late if I start preparing in April, May?" No, it will not be late. You have already prepared once. You're at 85 percentile, which means by and large, a significant portion of your basics are in place. What is possibly missing is some topics in quant or some kind of passages or something in DILR you are not very comfortable with. And secondly, you need to have the test taking strategy in place. You're not very sure of which questions to attempt, which to leave, and how to take the paper. So that you don't need a 1 year's time frame for that. That you can do in the last 6, 7, 8 months also. April onwards, if you start taking test series and start doing the test gym, etc., you'll do it. Okay. So second attempt, first call is, do you think you can afford to spend another year? If yes, then yes. But as Gejo said, that's a decision to be taken after you have gone through that, Micah, Ilma, and if from Bombay or Maharashtra CT. So decide on this issue in March, April, not before that.
Okay, so I'm going to pick up Krishna's question. I'm going to answer for everyone, anyone asking this question. 68% in CAT, SC category. Is it possible to convert FMS if I work hard? What if you get a call? You will have a opportunity to convert. So please understand there are certain obviously marks allotted to the personal interview. The difference in the score with respect to the cat or whichever test is not will be minor, because all the people have got what a particular percentile range. You have a huge opportunity to convert the call if you get convert the seat if you get a call. So you have to give your everything for the interview and ensure that you convert the call.
And remember, you're
Siddesh,
competing within your category. You're not competing with everyone in the who has got an interview call. Your competition is with the, because if you're saying SC quota is 15%. 15% of the population is your competition. Within those 15%, you will compete. Na? You don't have to worry about what is the score others have got. You don't worry about that.
okay, I'm going to pick some names. Some of them I'm going to miss, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of you will probably take another 10, 15. CL prediction 97.7, 30-month work experience. That's like what? How many years? Uh,
2.5 years.
2.5. 976. Which college can I accept? Should I apply? 97.7. We said no, a lot of colleges. I think the
Yeah.
uh,
IITs are
IITs.
there. AT,
uh,
ISC, then MDI, you will possibly get a call. So yes, yeah. MFC, if you're interested in finance.
okay, sir. NC, OBC, BCom, MCom, fresher 36. 91 percentile baby, new IM. So this Shillong is like I don't know what they do. They have complicated way of picking candidates.
Hmm.
So I don't know about NCOBC code, but
You
GP,
see,
what do
the
you think?
so-called baby IMs will should happen. Kozhikode and Shillong should be would be a little difficult. NCOBC, I will say maybe a little difficult for FMS. Okay, 91 percentile. It's a borderline case. You may not get a call. Hmm.
Okay, sorry. Anurag, sir, non-engineer male 988. Okay, I think that this time I think they are probably not considered the graduation marks no GP
Oh
because
yes.
last
Oh
year
shit. So sorry, Jijo. I forgot. This year graduation marks are not being considered. Sorry, my mistake.
because
My
I think
apologies.
ये कोविड के चक्कर में
हाँ नहीं, लोगों के एग्जाम नहीं हुए ना, लोगों के पास मार्क्स नहीं है, क्या करेंगे? हम्म,
so 99.45 percentile. Let's just hope, Anurag, for your sake, IMC will call you. I think so. 988. So
this is a difficult score actually.
yeah,
We are
this is
neither
one of
here
the.
nor there. Anurag possibly misjudged that by one question in the paper, but can't be held. Someone
Let's
will.
hope that the predicted percentile is your actual percentile will be higher than this. So
Hopefully,
let's hope
Anurag,
that.
yes. Jijo, I think there's one question I want to pick up. A few students had mentioned here. I have a
Uh,
gap year. Okay.
okay.
What do I do? Why will it impact my admission? What do you say, Jijo? I know what
Nothing.
your answer is going to be, but
So
nevertheless.
first of all, I don't understand gap year GP. People use the word gap. These are all negative terms I said there is no gap. I made a decision at that point in time. I lived that decision. What is a
Hmm,
gap?
hmm,
So long as I can explain, these are my decision in my life. So it is not like I have decided that you will never be a manager because you decided to spend 1 year doing something else. ये क्या logic
hmm,
हुआ?
hmm, hmm,
So to me, there is you made a decision, you stick to the decision, you tell the story. I think the problem happens when a lot of people lie GP and they end up saying that I ended up working with the father's firm and
hmm.
then create all sort of nonsense excuses. Accept it, tell them. I think these all human beings they'll accept it. There's no problem.
And just to add to what Jijo has said, I'll give you two examples which I have given umpteen number of times. Two of my students. First student joined IIT Kanpur in 2004, was chucked out of IIT Kanpur in 2006, just roamed around, wasted time for 2 years. 2008 joined Indira Gandhi National Open University for a BA program. Instead of 3 years, took 4 years to complete it. So finally completed his graduation in 2012. Since he's from Bihar, he started preparing for UPSC, and 3 years did everything, could not make it. End of third year, he took CAT in 2015. 2016 February, when he went for the interview in IIM Bangalore and IIM Ahmedabad. Look at his status. 8 years for graduation and 4 years of zero work experience. He converted both. Okay. He finally graduated from IIM Ahmedabad. Okay. I have another student from Bombay. Uh, Completed his graduation in 2011. Then started working for 1 year. He had mental issues, schizophrenia. I hope I've got it right, and had to be hospitalized. Could not do anything for 6 7 years. 2018 finally he was discharged, done everything, recovered, and then he took CAD and converted Kozhikode and Bangalore. 7 years gap, 8 years gap. Does it really matter? The question is, if you make it important, you think it's a huge negative, then it is a negative. If you start by saying that, oh shit, kya galti kar diya life mein, then the interview hoga. As Gejo said, it's a decision you took. It went off fine, great. It did not went off fine. Okay, let's move on. You can't spend your life chasing something which happened. So just move on. Don't make it negative. It's a decision you have taken. You need to explain the reason why you took that decision. You don't have to justify. I have a
Yeah,
huge problem with this word justify.
yeah,
People say, how
absolutely.
do I justify? You don't have to justify. You have not done anything incorrect. At that point of time, that was the right decision for you. You took it. Right or
No,
wrong decision is only in
uh,
hindsight.
how yeah, you're right, GP. There is, I think there is umpteen number of stories of the students that you mentored, I mentored, who have got this so-called, well, I don't know what you call gap, 3 years, 4 years, and people made it. There is nothing called justification for anything. It is somebody is curious to know. I'm saying you completed graduation, natural. Completed graduation, you did not work for a couple of years. Tell me why, and you be honest enough to say. And I'm sure that in those 2 years, you'd have done something. Maybe during COVID, you learned how to cook.
Yeah.
So, I think what is very important when it comes to interview, ladies and gentlemen, interview is an art of telling your story. Sales is truth well told. It is
Yeah.
truth well told. There is no need to lie. I think the moment we start lying and we believe interviewing is about lying, is we believe sales is about lying, then that's a problem happens. When you are eventually decided, I'm going to tell the truth. What is the fear? The
Yeah.
lena to lo, matle to matlo, tera hi loss. Bas.
Yeah. Truth is liberating. If you're honest in the interview, you'll never be caught. When you're lying in an interview, you will most probably be caught at some stage or the other.
Yeah, I think one of the things, since we are on the discussion, GP, one thing is
Mhm.
that the lot of things you cannot prove anything, right? For
Yes.
example, my mother says that my father, my her husband is my father. But also, थोड़ी ना मैं काय को proof मांगू? I'm
Yeah.
trusting her. Okay, that she's telling me the truth. For example, you're telling the interviewer during the interview process that you've been a part of this club. Nobody's going to ask immediately, give anything. They
Yes.
they are trusting you. For
Yes.
example, you've told 10 things to them,
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
of one thing they found out you're bluffing,
Mhm.
which means that everything else that you've said is
It's now
suddenly
doubtful.
questioned.
Yes.
So if you don't know something, say you don't know.
Mhm.
If you have issues, not everybody is perfect. I think that my life and GP's life, everybody's life has got problems. We
Mhm.
own it and then you can do it.
Mhm.
That's, I think this is something
Mhm.
that we'll discuss in the next one.
Yes. I
I wanted
think
to,
this is what justification is. We'll discuss in detail.
हाँ हाँ मतलब कुछ टेस्ट में कुछ नहीं करने का मतलब
Uh,
इंटरव्यू मतलब if get a call मतलब you have to convert it.
yes.
It's a simple story. There's nothing else in that. And to do that, all you have to do is believe in your story, believe in yourself, sell your story. Life is set. Sir, which I am considered normalization for board marks. I think this is done. I know for sure it's done by Bangalore, Ahmedabad,
Uh,
Calcutta.
uh, uh.
Calcutta doesn't. Calcutta actually do ignore because everybody above
No,
eighty
even
percentage gets
Ahmedabad
full
does.
mark.
Only Bangalore does it, Jijo. Only
Only
Bangalore.
Bangalore.
Only Bangalore.
अहमदाबाद ही नहीं करता है.
नहीं बिल्कुल नहीं टाइम नहीं है they think all boards are the same.
I think Kozhikode does it on Excel sheet.
Oh ठीक है who's going to use computers you don't need a program.
So we have already talked about Anurag's story. I think a lot of things. Okay, let's. What is this? Anand, Gem 94 slot 3. CL percent at 99.26. Oh,
Yeah.
but you have got a 10 CGPA and a 96.8. 25 months
25
work
months
experience.
work. I have
Chalo,
Anand, you have a chance. I am Bangalore. Yes,
हाँ,
possible
चलो,
Anand.
convert करो
देखो
अभी.
Anand, end of the day I'll say Bangalore काफी अच्छा chance है. Even if you don't get Bangalore, you'll have many other good calls. Okay, so start preparing. So guys, my request to all of you is if you think you have a chance of getting a call from an institute you are interested in, please start preparing.
I think we have got another Bangalore. 49 987. Okay, this is one. I'm you go to I'm Bangalore will be six. It's going on a.
And that could easily be a question in the interview.
You've got 40 months of experience. Nine and eight. I don't know.
Yeah,
This depends upon the
possibility.
this
Hmm.
possibility, na? Okay,
Yeah,
but you're
possible.
40. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
So can I clear sectionals 24, 12, and 57?
DILR
So
12, Gejo, how much would be 12? Last year, DILR, I think 80 percentile was about 20 marks, Gejo.
I can check GP. Okay,
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
I need time, but
No issues at all. See, 95 percentile was 29, 29, 95, 85. Yeah, 80 would be about 17, 18, I think. So
uh,
possible that
the,
hmm,
the cutoff for most of this is like 70, 75 percentile. No.
yeah, 70, 75 varies from institute to institute, but 75 is a safe cutoff for most of the institutes.
Okay, 70, 75. So last year, if I look at the sales score
Mhm.
of DLR, let's go to DLR. What was it? VRC DLR. Okay, I have it with me. 12 run score.
Yeah.
12 was about 65 percentile, 65,
No,
70,
so this year 12 could be easily around 75. Last year if 12 was
75.
65. This year 12 could be 75. So Nikhil, you'll need to wait for a couple of days. We will be coming out with sectional percentile. But on the face of it, I think you will get around 75 percentile and you will probably clear the sectional cutoff.
Pick up four more and then we'll stop.
Yeah.
97.34. Yeah, say they are 12. QA 17. I think we already mentioned, no, which college the nine.
Yeah.
I don't know what
That's
is it.
right. All the cluster 2, cluster 3 colleges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like what GPS said that he has promised us that he will answer 8,000 student queries.
I have not said
Uh,
8,000. I said
but
last
last
time
year,
it was 8,000.
okay. So what we'll do is that personally for GP based on your percentile, by the way, I think a little more clarity would come. So,
Hmm.
but your decision now is to
Hmm.
accept and apply to as many schools as possible, and I hope that
Yeah.
we can answer a lot many questions. So,
Yeah.
so with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, any last thoughts, GP, before we close?
No, I think that's it. We'll meet again. We'll have an interview session. We will, and I'll also have that Ask GP activated. That was the title which was the marketing team had worked out last time. So maybe we'll go
Ask
with the
GP.
same title. Yeah, Ask GP, and then they also created an email ID called askgp@careerlauncher.com specifically for the purpose. So I'll revive that also. So let's see. We'll work that out. Okay. Mm, mm,
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I know there are a lot of queries and questions that we cannot by and large answer, but I think that just at what percentile, what score you will get is we'll get an opportunity to
mm.
pose those query and we can respond to that. And otherwise, everybody has got very individual questions. We will probably not be able to answer some 100, questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this session was useful, and we will meet you and Vikram, the how to write SOP SMS, we'll discuss that tomorrow or day after. We'll come back with that session. Then thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.